the technology training for the pre-service teacher, only find 433 articles over the 25 years in the database of China. This number implies that it is not a major concern among the Chinese scholars. And a global consensus is that the pre-service teacher should be trained and educated through practical knowledge. And many pre-service teachers are trained in guidance and learning control, but they refuse this guidance. And many of the pre-service teachers lose the motivation to be the in-service teacher in the future. For the student learning attitude, many studies focus on the computer science, but not to AI. In order to improve these three variables, many studies introduce the substance learning theory. This is my research program. Many countries try to introduce the AI to the primary school, but it is still in the initial stages, and the teacher training is still limited. Therefore, the shortage of the AI teachers has become the urgent problem in the educational field. Meanwhile, most of the study focus on the computer science instead of AI. As for the practical knowledge, the acquisition of the practical knowledge is very scarcer and limited. And many pre-service teachers less motivated to teach science and technical knowledge. Meanwhile, for student learning attitude, the lack of the well-structured teacher technology course and their attitude with the age towards the technology are declining. Also from the literature, I find some reasons can explain its problem there. This is my research objectives for objective 1 to develop two phases of the AI training module for pre-service teacher in teaching AI concepts to primary school students. The two phases is the teacher phase and the student phase. Objective 2 to determine the effect of AI training module intervention on practical knowledge among pre-service teacher. The first hypothesis is examining to the difference between experimental group and control group before the intervention. The data analysis will be used independent sample test and non-homogeneous U-test. The second hypothesis and the third hypothesis examine the difference between the pre-test and the post-test within the control group and the experimental group. The data analysis will be used the paired sample test and winning coefficient ranking test. And the fourth hypothesis is examining the difference between the experimental group and the control group. After the intervention, the data analysis maybe will use the ANCOVA and within U-test. Objective 3 is to determine the effect of AI training module on the motivation among pre-service teacher, and the setting of the experiment study and the hypothesis is similar with the objective 2. Objective 4 is to determine the effect of AI training module on attitude among pre-service students, and the setting of the experimental study and the hypothesis is similar with the objective 2 also. Research significance, AI training module for pre-service and students is quite new and limited, so this study to develop two phase of AI training module for both. The gap between the theoretical and practical practice of the AI training module. So they started to make the AI training module more theoretical, systematic, and strengthen the module reliability. Also provide the experiential support. Third, very limited study on the relationship between teacher training and teacher practical and motivation. So this study is then expected to provide validated data and technical support and training method, as well as the platform for pre-service teacher development. Okay, research on the well-structured AI course to increase the student activity is extremely limited. So this study contributed to the AI course design and helps the student better understand AI concept and increase their attitude toward AI. This is the operational definitions. And this is a literature review. Computer science teacher training is a practical process of integrating the theoretical knowledge with the practical experience. And meanwhile, these highlighted factors may play an essential role in the training process. Self-learning is a kind of the experiential learning method which combines subjective content and community practice and emphasizes these highlight the factors. Many studies support that utilization of the self-learning theory as a developmentally appreciated AI training method. However, many studies focus on the computer science instead of AI, and the teachers instead of the place of the teacher and their students. AI training module, develop AI training module needed to consider these highlighted factors. For knowledge, after the literature review, I find that the 5 possible factors affecting the knowledge acquisition for preceptor teacher, and 4 essential elements can influence the knowledge generation. Okay, the motivation. After the literature review, these highlighted factors maybe affect the teacher's motivation in the educational context. For the primary school student attitude, these highlighted factors maybe will be the reasons can cause the decline of the attitude. However, the research, many research has shown that the well-constructed instructional design can improve the student attitude. This is my research statistical framework. Based on the self-learning theory and the computer science training research, this study developed the AI training module and expect to examine the effect of AI training module on the practical knowledge and motivation among preceptor teacher and the student attitude toward the knowledge. From the theoretical perspective, the experiential learning is the integration of the academic knowledge and community practice. Reflection on in the practice and action can improve the practical knowledge because both of them are the action-oriented and practical-oriented. And for the motivation, previous studies show that experiential learning and understand the meaning of the learning and the episode training related with the real-life example hands-on activity, the preceptor teacher motivation will be improved. And for the student attitude, many study shows that the mutual beneficial between the service provider, teachers, and the service object students, and the course is a close connection with the real-life examples, and hands-on activity can improve the student attitude also. This is my research conceptual framework. According to the principle of the substance learning theory, mutual beneficial between the service provider, teachers, and the service object students. This study divided the AI training module into 2 phases: teacher phase and student phase. Meaning that the preceptor teacher while learning at the university and conducted these 3 activities, and after that they will do the practice at primary school and conducted these 3 activities, and the students will involve these 3 activities together. And the DV is practical knowledge, motivation, and the student attitude. This is my research design. Based on the literature and theoretical research, they started to develop the AI training module based on the substance theory. And after that, this study conducted experimental study. The experiments include the experimental group and the control group, and pretest with the pretest and post-test. The experimental group will accept the AI training module intervention. The control group will accept the educational practice training method. Okay, the preceptor teacher will learning at the university first, and then will do the practice at primary school, and then do the post test. The DV is practical knowledge and motivation. we can see that in the green circles, students will involve this phase with the teacher's together, meaning that the teacher will teach student AI concept. So this study also expected to examine the student attitude also. Okay, this is the AI training module. I will shortly to introduce this section. Okay, the AI training module is 30 hours with 50 sessions will conducted 50-hour weeks to complete it. Participant is the 6th semester pre-subject teacher and the 6th grade primary school student. First, the teacher will do the knowledge preparation and the resource preparation at the university, and then they will do the building the 30 preceptor will divide it into 6 teams, and each team with 5 main members, and then they will select the one topic from these 6 topics to do the instruction exam, and then they will do the implementation at a primary school. For example, the team 1 will select the topic 1 and teach the first lessons at the primary school, and the team 2 will select the topic 2 and teach the second lesson at primary school. After that, the preceptor and the student will do the demonstration to celebrate their achievement and share their experience. After finally, they will do the reflection at the end. This is the educational practice training method. The control group is and go the educational practice training method, which is based on a guideline of the Chinese government issued. This guideline is issued in the 2016. This method is divided into the 3 stages: preparation, action, and performance assessment. In order to ensure the comparability between the experimental group and the control group, these 2 groups should be as similar as possible. So this study must to ensure that the main difference between the 2 groups are caused by the AI training module. So the 2 groups will use the same, teach by the same instructor, and in the same time products, and use the teamwork approach and the same teaching choice. Comparison between the 2 methods. AI training module is based on the substance learning theory, group discussion, work with the primary school teachers, students, central, reflect in action. Teamwork based on the team roles model, and share experience and reflect in the demonstration activity, actively inquiring, gathering, and analyzing information. Educational practice training method it is based on the guideline of the Chinese government, and don't have no group discussion guided by the primary school teachers central, and reflect after action. Teamwork based on the preceptor wishes not include the demonstration activity, positive obtain the information. Okay, this is the population and the sampling. For the teacher's phase, the target population is drawn from the University of the Guizhou Province of the China, and then we'll do the volunteer requirement. The 6th semester preceptor will be participate, and then we'll do the pre-test and to choose which who will be participate in this study. And then after that, we'll use a fishbowl technique to do the participant selection and divide the preceptor into the control group and experiment group. In the student phase, our target population is from the primary school of the Guizhou Province of the China, and the accessible population of the include 10 class of the grade 6 student. And then we use a cluster random sampling and divide which class is in the control group and which class is in the experiment group. We need to notice that the preceptor teacher in the control group will teach the student, control group with the students in the control group. The experiment group from the preceptor teacher will teach the students experiment group. This is my instrument. And for the practical knowledge, the compound value will be overall. The compound value is 0.1970, and the motivation is overall the compound value is 0.803, and the altitude overall is 0.683. And for the validated research, invited 6 experts to evaluate the content and the phase of validity. For the translation, use the Whistling back translation method. A baseline analysis, this study will measure and compare the mean baseline injector of basic demographic information. Meanwhile, to determine the baseline equivalency of the knowledge and motivation among the teacher, and determine the baseline equivalency attitude between the experiment group and the control group among primary school students. This is some traits to in this study when we conducted the experimental study, and these are some strategies we need to control the trait in this study. Yeah, some strategies. Okay, that's all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Doctor.
All right, thank you, Songpu.
Okay. Thank you, Songpu, for your presentation.
Okay,
now
thank you.
I would like to invite Prof. Wang to ask a question
Okay,
for
thank you,
you.
Dr. Aniza. First of all,
Welcome.
congratulations to Songpu for reaching this stage. Songpu, what is your surname? Song or Pu? Your family name?
I'm not very clear. Sorry.
Songpu, right? Your name. Which one is your surname?
Surname Song.
Song is your surname. So Pu is your name. So can I call you
yeah.
Pu?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Pu, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I have read your proposal, Pu, and I am going to give you comments on how to improve your proposal.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to ask you questions. If you are not able to answer the question, that is okay. It is for you to think and to discuss with your supervisors.
Okay.
All right, Dr. Aniza,
yes.
That is my main intention here today.
Yeah?
I don't expect him to answer. Maybe he needs to think about it. Yeah.
Yes.
So when I read your proposal, Pu, I found that your proposal is very technology based. All right, you are doing educational psychology. That is your area of expertise, that you're going to be an expert in this area. But when you write your proposal, you started talking about artificial intelligence, you talk about the technology. So for me, my field of expertise is ICT in education. And so when I read your proposal, my impression is that this thesis is under the PhD for educational technology, not psychology. That is my concern, yeah? So this is one big concern. If you do not change your introduction needs to be channeled into the area where your area is, which is psychology. So my question to you in this research, which part of it is psychology? Oh, can you answer? Can you answer this question? Which part of it is
try to
psychology?
answer.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor. Because the AI just my training content, it's a part of the training content. My concern is the preceptor teacher technology and motivation and the student attitude. This is all both of these variables belong to the psychology scope and in the educational psychology the field.
Okay,
I think
you can answer the question. So which means that when you write your proposal, you didn't talk about practical knowledge, you didn't start and focus on motivation and attitude. You start off, you look at your proposal, page 1, you talk about artificial intelligence. So the way you write has given the focus to technology instead of psychology. All right. Now, so you work with your supervisors on that. My next question to you, why do you need to have 2 samples? You have teachers and you have students. Why is it necessary to have 2 types of samples here?
This is according to the service learning theory, because the service learning theory, it emphasizes the mutual beneficial relationship between the service provider, teachers, and service objectives students. So I need to include these 2 subjects in the experimental study design. Okay, Pooh, I'm going to tell you, this is my advice here. I would not advise you to have 2 types of samples, because you are not, your literature is going to be, you have to have literature supporting your teachers and you have to have support for your students. Usually for a PhD student or PhD research, you focus on 1 sample only. Either you choose pre-service teachers or you choose students. When you choose 2 types of samples, your study is not deep enough. You're going broad, yeah? So my recommendation to you is you choose 1 sample, either teachers or students. That's one. And when you have 1 sample, then you go deep. You look at more variables for these 1 group. You see, at the moment you are having pre-service teachers, you are looking at only 2 variables, and then you're looking at students learning at only 1 variable. This is very, very shallow for a PhD. So my recommendation is, if you are saying that the pre-service teachers, all right, I read your proposal, you said that the area, the problem in China, pre-service teachers, they are not well trained in AI, but AI is important in China. The government is introducing a lot of policy on AI. So the focus seems to be on teachers, not on students. So, Pooh, my advice to you, choose 1 sample, go deep. And then you need to have more variables, not only practical knowledge and motivation, perhaps some other psychological variable. Okay? My other concern is that you have developed an AI module, right? From your design, what I understand is this AI module is used on the teachers as well as the students. Now, this doesn't sound right. This doesn't sound right, because the module cannot be used for 2 different groups of people. The model should be specific for 1 group. So I would suggest your AI focus on pre-service teachers, and then you increase your educational psychology variables on the teachers. So your introduction in your chapter 1, you focus about what's happening in China in terms of teachers having very poor practical knowledge. They are less motivated to teach. That's why you're coming up with this AI module to try to improve the situation. Can you follow, Pooh? Yeah, I'm following. Can I answer this question?
Yes.
Yeah, the first reason I have to examine the student level, because this is based on the self-learning theory.
Yes, I know you're referring to the theory. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to follow exactly the entire theory. You can take part of the theory. You take only part of the theory and you focus on teachers. Because currently you have 2 samples and you're looking at very little variables for each sample. So my concern is this is not a PhD level. So to make it a PhD level work, focus on one sample, increase the number of variables for your dependent variable. That's my recommendation. Okay, so it's that is my recommendation. If you feel that you don't want to follow and you want to discuss with your supervisor, I leave it to you. But this is my view based on what I understand about your research. All right, Paul?
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
Doctor.
The next issue is your problem statement, yeah? Now, your problem statement, your proposal, you mentioned about the shortage of AI teachers training. Now, that cannot be a problem. Just because, you know, they are not well trained, then that becomes a problem in China. You must emphasize on the teacher's practical knowledge, and the main variable here in your research is teachers' practical knowledge and motivation. So what is the problem that caused them? What is so important about them not having good practical knowledge and motivation? Your problem statement at the moment is not clear. It doesn't show what is the actual problem in China. And you also mentioned the scarcity of studies in the area of AI in China. This is also not a problem. Just because there are so little studies done in China, so you say this is a problem. It is not a problem. Currently, I cannot see your problem statement. What is the problem in your research that trigger you to conduct this research? So you have to work on a little bit more about highlighting the problem in China in terms of these pre-service teachers. That is the concern that I have for your problem statement, yeah, Paul?
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay, the next thing, when you write your hypothesis, you do not need to present the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. Choose one. So usually we use the alternative hypothesis and we test the alternative hypothesis.
Okay.
All right. So you need to correct that. Now, significance of your study, Paul.
Okay.
In your area, significance of the study, the way you wrote it doesn't show that this research, who are your stakeholders? Who are the people who will benefit from your study? So when you write your significance of the study, the people who are going to benefit from your study are definitely the teachers, right?
For the teachers and the student. Yes.
Who else? Who else will benefit from your study?
Maybe the university. Yeah. Maybe the yes. Maybe the university, the manager, and for some scholars about the training the teacher and the primary school teachers will be
so you have to highlight who are the stakeholders, who are the people who will benefit from your study, and then how will your study help these people? How will your study improve or elevate the problem that you have highlighted in your problem statement?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
so your research significance, significance of the study, it needs improvement, the way of writing. So like just now you mentioned, you have a few more people who will benefit from the study. So you highlight who are these people and how and why they will benefit from your study.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go to your variables, your operational and your constitutive variables. Many of your variables are very broad, For example, you say that practical knowledge, you have 5 components for practical knowledge, which is educational belief, situational knowledge, self-knowledge, interpersonal relationship knowledge, teaching strategies knowledge, and self-reflection. I did not see you define these 6 sub-variables. They must be defined as well. So what does educational belief mean? What does situational knowledge mean? You get what I mean? So you have given very broad definition of your variables. So when you have many sub components which relates to your main variable, they have to be defined constitutively as well as operationally. Can you follow?
Yeah.
The same thing as well. Your motivation, you say that motivation, there are three types: intrinsic, extrinsic, and amotivation. So what does that mean? In terms of constitutive as well as operational. So you have to break it down. Yeah, you have broken it down, but you didn't go detailed. You didn't tell what is the meaning of intrinsic motivation, what is extrinsic motivation. So you realize here, Pooh, when you are writing your proposal, everything starts with AI. AI is not the concern here. AI is not the focus of your study. Remember, you yourself said that AI is just the intervention. But when you write your proposal, everything started with AI. So that's why I said your proposal is very technology centric. So if you are not careful, when you go for your Viva, your examiner will say, this is not educational technology, this is not educational psychology, you have to change your field.
Yeah, you are right.
All right, he says, oh, you have to change now, change it to educational technology, but this is not your PhD. Your area is psychology. So you must show that the focus, the main focus, everything must focus on psychology.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
All right, so your attitude. Now, I suggested that you drop primary school students as a sample. So, but if you still want to continue your attitude, my question to you is attitude towards what?
Towards AI.
There are many types. Okay, towards AI. All right.
Yeah.
So, if you look at your title had only students' attitude. It doesn't say towards AI. You know, attitude, there are many types of attitude. Attitudes towards school, attitudes towards university, attitudes towards laptop. So you are not specific enough here.
Okay.
Okay, you can follow me?
Yes.
All right. Now I'm going to go to your literature review, yeah?
Okay.
Now, Pooh, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
You have taken research method class, right?
Yeah.
Who taught you for research method?
I forgot the.
You've forgotten your lecturer. How could you? All right.
You forgot your lecturer, Song Pooh.
What did you get for your research method? What grade did you get?
Grade. Maybe.
You can't even remember your own grade. Okay, never mind, Pooh. I want to ask you, what is the function of the literature review in your research? What is the function? Why do we do literature review?
Literature is very important. Help us to find the problem in the previous study and the research background and the research gap also. So, and find the main theory, and based on the literature, we will develop our conceptual framework and framework also. And this literature will also help us to discuss the finding after the data analysis.
Okay.
Actually,
those are some of the functions of the literature review. But you also forgot to mention that the literature review is there to support your hypothesis. You have hypotheses, yeah, but your hypothesis is not supported by your literature review. The way you write does not show that the literature is supporting your hypothesis. You know what is a hypothesis, right? It's an assumption that you're making towards a certain circumstances. So when you say, okay, I'm just giving you a very general example of a hypothesis. If I say females are better than males in terms of mathematics. Okay, this is just a hypothesis. Females are better than male. In your literature review, there must be literature supporting or showing that according to SOM 2020, female students in China perform better in terms of mathematics, which means that your hypothesis, it must be formulated based on past literature. At the moment, your literature doesn't show any support for all the hypotheses that you have shown just now on the screen. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I know that because maybe something in writing I'm not clear.
So if you're saying the hypothesis, yeah, the teachers improve their practical knowledge after exposure to AI, there must be some support in your literature to say that this AI training or AI kind of exposure can help improve the teachers' practical knowledge. Teachers become more knowledgeable. At the moment, your literature doesn't have any of this.
Oh, I understand what's the problem that because the way we force the hypothesis, we force the objective to develop the AI training module. So the AI training module is still not have in the current study. So we based in the literature review, we find the problem. So we based on the problem, we develop the objective. So based on develop the hypothesis. Hypothesis is based on the objective. So I will clear this part. Thank you. Yeah.
So all right. So maybe you cannot find any literature saying AI training module will improve, but maybe you have to find some literature related to technology, maybe general technology. If you cannot find past literature to support, then you cannot use hypothesis. Then you will use research question.
Yeah, of course.
You know what's the difference? What's the difference between hypothesis and research question?
Because hypothesis will be the standard for we to check the data to meet the hypothesis or not, and the research question is based on the previous literature and some problem from the real world, and this hypothesis is just like the data analysis or the experimental study data in the process. Yeah.
Okay, Pooh, you didn't answer my question. My question is, what is the difference between research question and hypothesis? I'm going to give you the answer now.
Okay, thank you.
When you use research question is when there is no past literature to support. It is a very new study, so it appears your study is new. So maybe research question is more appropriate than hypothesis. When you write or you formulate your hypothesis, it must be supported by past literature. Okay, so they are very similar, research question and hypothesis, but they are not used in the same research. You either choose research questions or you choose hypothesis. So when I look at your work, it appears that a research question is more appropriate than using hypothesis. Can you follow, Pooh?
Yes. Maybe I think the research question is something like the research gap.
Research question is not research gap.
Not research gap.
I know.
Oh.
Okay, never mind. You discussed it with your supervisor, Dr. Nina. You know what I'm talking about, right? So what I'm recommending to Pooh is that instead of using hypothesis, he used research questions instead, because his literature at the moment is not rich enough to support that there is some kind of effect on the students' practical knowledge or the teacher's practical knowledge. That's my recommendation.
Okay.
All right. So that's something that you need to think and discuss with your supervisor.
Okay, thank you.
Your literature review also need to highlight your independent and dependent variable. You know, you're talking about AI training module. So literature review should have that. You're talking about teachers' practical knowledge. Your literature review should have a special section talking about teachers' practical knowledge. You talk about motivation. Your literature review should focus and talk about and discuss critically about motivation. And if you want to continue with students' attitudes, then your literature review should have one special section on students' attitudes towards AI. Because whatever that you write in your chapter 2 is going to support your findings later. Your finding is going to focus on all these DV, dependent variable. All right, so that is my concern about your chapter 2.
Okay,
And
thank you.
Your theoretical framework currently, okay, you don't have to answer any question. This is my comment. It's very poorly written, your theoretical framework. You have the diagram, but when you explain it in your proposal, you need to write it properly. You are saying that the service learning theory is the main theory of your study, right? But when you write it, you did not show that this study is underpinning your study. You did not show that the theory is underpinning your study. So you must show that this is the main theory of your research. You know, when you build a house, you need foundation, right? So your foundation is your theory. So if your house doesn't have a foundation, your house will collapse. You understand? So what I'm saying is that your theory must be explained very clearly how it supports your current study. At the moment, it doesn't show that your service learning is the main theory supporting your research. That's my concern, yeah? Now, I think my next comment is going to be the last comment. This is the most problematic area of your research. Now, can you show me your design, Pooh? Show me your design. Okay. Now, my question to you, you have control and you have experimental group, right, Pooh?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what I understand about your research and you correct me. Now, from what I understand, your intervention is AI training module.
Yes.
Your experimental group, your teachers, yeah, will get the AI training module. And your control group will not get your AI training module. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Can you explain to me how does your AI training module look like?
How does the AI training module looks like? This is the short introduction for the AI training module.
How would, okay, let's say I am the teacher, okay?
Okay.
Let's say I am the teacher. Now, I am in your experimental group. What would I learn in the AI training module? How would I learn? Can you describe to me?
Actually, first we'll do the we're learning the knowledge at the university and then do the surveys at the primary school. After that, we'll do the demonstration. Demonstration will do the celebration, to the place of teachers' achievement and sharing their experience. And after that, to the action. This is based on the phases starting of the service learning theory. These activities, and we also have the detail about the 50 sessions about in the thesis.
I'm not really clear about that. Dr. Liza, can you
Yes.
explain to me?
Yes, I think Songpo used the module to teach the pre-service teachers, right, Songpo?
Yeah,
So no, the module you use, AI training module, you develop the module for pre-service teacher to implement it to the students, right? The training module. That's why you have two phase of training.
yeah, yeah, yes. This is not use the technology to teach the pre-service teacher and the student. This is just this is just the AI, just the content of the training module. Actually, this is we can, in other words, we can see this training module is a teacher's training module, the two phase of the training module for the pre-service teacher and the students. This is focused on the pre-service teacher and students.
Okay, so now you're saying that if I were in the experimental group, I will learn about AI. Is that correct?
Oh, in the experiment group, the pre-service teacher will learn how to teach primary school students AI and to practice what they are design, what they are thinking, what they are learn. They will transform their knowledge learned from the university to the primary school and will do the reflection and sharing and discussion and celebration as the
Are you going to use any technology in this AI training module? Will I, as a teacher, will I be using any technology here?
Yes, we use the technology, but the technology just the teaching twice, or the teaching content in this AI training module, not the main focus of the AI training module. This AI training module is focused on training pre-service teacher and to training pre-service teacher to teach AI concepts to students. So we can see the topic 1 to 6. This is just the content we will use. This is the content related to the AI.
All right. Now, can you explain to me what will the control group teachers learn? How are they going to learn? Will there be technology also?
Yes, of course. They will use the same technology, they use the same topic, same time, and we will make the major difference between the control group and the experimental group is due to the AI training module, due to our develop the module, because we want to develop a module and to examine the effect of the AI training module. So we just want to see the difference between our development method and the traditional method.
Oh, you didn't answer my question. The teachers in the control group, what is the content that they will learn?
The content is the same. Content is the same.
They will learn
with the.
They are going to learn about machine perception. They are going to learn representation reasoning.
Yeah, they will learn the same content.
So what is the difference between the control and the experimental group then?
Okay, we have this is a major difference between the AI training module and the educational practical training method. We can see these are different based on the main theory, or main theory is self-learning, group discussion, and traditional methods don't have. And this is the main difference between the two methods. We will make it.
Now, when you mention about AI training module, all right, and you say educational practice training method, in your proposal, you did not describe very clearly how different these two are. That's one.
Yes.
You have to tell. You have to highlight that they are two different teaching approaches, but the contents are the same. Now you're telling me the contents are the same. Is that correct?
Yeah,
So the teaching approach is different.
Yes.
So which means that Now, listen. So your intervention is actually not the AI training module, but your intervention is a different teaching approach.
Yes, different approach. The intervention is a different approach. Yeah.
So your whole research now is different from what you are saying. You see, when you are using the module,
Yeah.
you are saying the effect of AI module. So what's so special about this AI module? My impression is that, you know, when you're saying the AI module, can you go back to that, the comparison?
Comparison, okay.
The AI module has got this on the left-hand side. Yeah, you have based on service learning theory, group discussion, work with primary school teachers. These are the characteristics, the traits of the AI training module.
Yeah.
Compared to the educational practice training method.
Yeah, yes. This is
no group discussion, teacher-centered. So, you know, when I look at, now I understand what you're doing. So, you know, your research now is about the teaching approach.
Yeah, yeah.
Dr. Aniza,
yes.
it appears to me now, your focus is no more on the AI training module. Your focus in a different teaching approach.
Sampo, is it they are teaching the same content of the module? In educational practice training methods, they learn the same content in the module?
Yes, of course. We in the experimental study, we need to confirm the major difference is between the different methods. It's not because we're learning the different content, so we need make the control group and the experiment group use the same time, same content.
So
same
actually, what is the focus of your AI training module? So if the methods, so meaning that, so if the method, so your focus is different.
Dr. Niza, you dapat ikut I, eh?
Yes,
you dapat tangkap what I'm saying. So
yeah,
I'm saying
because
that,
your worry is the content of AI training module, right, Prof. Wong?
see, he is saying the AI training module and the educational practice training module has got the same content.
Yes,
but
the same content.
The way of teaching is different. So
The methods
PhD,
of teaching, right, is different.
methods of teaching is different. So his PhD now is no more about AI. It is about the teaching method,
teaching methods.
the teaching approach.
So the approach is different. The approach of teaching. So your title is to look at the effects of AI training module. So it's focused on the different things, right, Prof. Wong?
Yes, correct. That is what my concern is.
So this is what I always mention to you, Songpo. So what is the difference between these two, AI training module and educational practice training method? Because you have these two types of methods, but how you differentiate? Because in experimental studies, the focus of intervention is important because you are looking the effects of the training module. Because if you focus on the pedagogy, this is not true lah, betul tak? Is it correct, Prof. Wong?
Yes. So now your PhD now is not about, your concern is no more about AI training module, because your control is getting AI training module also. The content is the same. They learn about AI. Your research now, you're looking at the different types of teaching approach.
Yes. Yes, you are right. Yeah, correct.
So you're looking at the teaching approach, different ways of teaching AI content, the AI subject. So let's say I and Dr. Aniza, both of us take the subject AI. Both of us are learning about the same thing about AI. But Dr. Aniza, she learns, her teacher teaches her, uses demonstration activity. And in my group, I learn about AI, about sharing experience and reflection. This is what you are doing actually. So your intervention is not AI, but your intervention is the different types of teaching strategy. You are only using AI as a subject. It could be mathematics. It could be geography.
Yes, AI as a subject. Yes, you are very, very, very absolutely right. Yeah.
So which means that the focus of your study now, in your introduction, you don't have to talk about AI. You talk about the teaching strategies.
Yes. Yeah.
Teaching strategies, Sangpo.
Teaching strategies.
Actually, we in our operational definition, we need to highlight the AI training module is the category or the method. We need very clear in the definition. Am I right?
No, I didn't get your definition because I'm very confused with your explanation, because you mentioned that your intervention is for AI training module. So what I'm expected is the intervention using the content from the module that you develop, right? Not the pedagogical aspect, not the strategy or approach of teaching. So why you develop the AI training module that will come with the questions?
Actually, AI training model it is a method because it's based on the self-learning. Self-learning also the teaching method as a pedagogy. The AI just as a subject and the content.
Yeah, so you are actually, it could be mathematics. So let's say, for example, this whole research can be just changed into mathematics.
Mathematics.
Yeah, so mathematics is not your intervention. Mathematics is just a subject. So your intervention at the moment is the type of teaching strategy.
Yes, it's we develop the teaching strategy. We develop instructional design, and then to examine the effect of this instructional design. The instructor is the AI training module, and AI as the subject.
Yes, as your subject. AI is just a subject, right? So now you have to retweak or refocus your research now. You have started talking about AI, everything about AI. AI is not the concern in your research. It is just a subject. You are just using it as one subject to try to experiment the different teaching strategies. So go back to the proposal, go back to the slide where you showed the differences between the AI and your, the other one, what was it? Educational practice training method. You see, one is training method, the other one is training module. You must give a name which is quite similar. Who?
Because module
you are using only AI for the subject. So you look at your AI training module, you've got group discussion. Your educational practice training method, no group discussion. Why did you have, who says so? Why do you need to have group discussion in your AI training module and then you don't have group discussion in the training method?
This is based on the literature review and actually based on the self-learning theory. No group discussion is based on the guideline from the China government. In the guideline, they don't require the group discussion in the teacher's practice. So this is a major difference between these two methods.
So now, you know, when I look at your differences between your AI training module, which is your experimental group, and your control group, it appears to me you are making comparison between a group which is taught by the student-centered teaching approach strategy, and you compare it with a teacher-centered approach in your control group. That's all, your PhD. So there is nothing new in your proposal. There's nothing new in your research because there have been many studies done showing that student-centered teaching strategy, the teachers or the students who go through this teaching strategy perform better.
Maybe I think may I change to the service learning training method or service learning training module, because our main theory is the service learning theory. Can I do this?
Pooh, so now you're clear. My concerns are, yeah, you're clear. Dr.
Yes.
Aniza, also you're clear.
Yes.
What I have pointed out to you, yeah.
Yeah.
So it appears to me that he is looking at different teaching strategies.
Yeah.
And it is student-centered versus teacher-centered. So this may not be a suitable PhD topic because it's too low level. That's one. Because there have been many studies done about student-centered. So maybe he can come up with some kind of teaching strategies which are, like a little bit newer. I don't know, in your area.
Yeah, because I also not clear if you are Songpo focus on the teaching strategies. What type of teaching strategies are you using based on service learning theory? That phase is not clear. So you have mentioned about service learning theory, but inside the learning theory, what are the teaching strategies that use on service learning theories? That one is not clear, Songpo, for me.
Yes,
so that one, you have to clarify it, and so you go back to your supervisory committee to discuss. Dr. Aniza, I leave it back, leave it to you, to the supervisors to decide. But my concern, number one, your area of focus shouldn't be on AI. That's one. Yes. Your hypothesis may not be suitable because you are exploring. So maybe you might want to use research question, and then your chapter 2 in your literature review, make sure all the literature review focus on the variables that you are measuring, as well as if you want to use hypothesis, the write-up of your past literature must support the formulation of your hypothesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay?
Yes.
And then your design of the research.
Yeah.
You are not looking at AI per se. Both groups get AI content. They are learning the same thing, but your strategy is different. So that is the area that you are focusing actually, which you did not highlight in your proposal. So I'm going to wrap up this this presentation for today. Yeah. So Songpo, you passed this proposal defense. Okay, congratulations to you. You have put in a lot of effort into this work, but there are a lot of things which are not clear in your proposal, which you need to work very closely with your supervisors. And my report is with Wardah, Dr. Aniza. So my report, I salah faham. I misunderstood his design. In my report, I thought that he was having one group with AI, some kind of AI technology, and then the other group doesn't get AI technology. That was what I understood.
As you mentioned, until now, my understanding for his research is using AI training module too, not focusing on the teaching strategies. They so I think that we have to look at more in the design, research design lah. What is the focus of your study? That phase is not clear.
Yes.
Because
so
in PhD level, we need to look in depth in what you are doing.
The intervention.
Yeah, the intervention.
So I actually thought that the intervention was some kind of AI technology, and the other group doesn't get AI technology. But that also is a flaw also, because when we do comparison study, both groups should be compared in a very fair manner. So in my report, I wrote about the comparison between AI group and non-AI group. So in technology, we don't do comparison between one group gets AI, one group doesn't get AI also. Yeah. So Dr. Aniza, nanti you get the you get my report, yeah. So
okay.
I
Thank you,
think
Prof.
that's
Wong.
all for my comment for today. I hope that my comments are useful to you and your supervisors.
Yeah.
And would help you in improving the design. So work on the design.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, Prof. Wong, for giving the suggestion and input to enhance the quality of writing the thesis for Songpu. That's very valuable informations that Songpu get from your writing. Actually, your writing is not clear to explain the process of intervention. Yeah, so
tengok apa nanti dah bising kan?
Kenapa tu Wardah?
Sorry Doktor.
Okay, so we will have a committee meeting, okay, to discuss your study, and thank you very much again, Prof. Wong.
All right, welcome.
Your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Report saya dah email
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Terima kasih, Prof. Wong.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Doktor.
Okay.
Thanks, Songpu.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.